on relationships that actually mature. There is a distinction that this book will ask you to make again and again, and I want to introduce it here in the foreword so that it becomes a lens you carry through every chapter. The distinction is between a relationship that lasts and a relationship that matures. Relationships can last without maturing. In fact, a disturbing number of long-term partnerships are precisely that long in duration, arrested in development. Two people who have been together for 15 years and are still having the same argument about the same pattern that has never been addressed. Two people who love each other genuinely and have simply agreed, without ever saying so explicitly, that growth is too uncomfortable and the familiar rut is safer than the honest conversation that might change something. Duration is not maturity. Duration is time. Maturity is transformation. A relationship that matures is one where both people are measurably different, measurably more self-aware, more honest, more capable of love than they were when they began. Where the friction of intimate partnership has not been avoided but metabolized, turned into insight, into growth, into a version of each person that could not have existed without the specific pressure of this specific love. My grandparents were together for 66 years. I watched them from the inside. And what I can tell you, having had the distance of time and the lens of everything I have studied since, is that they did not last 66 years because they avoided the hard things. They lasted because they developed the capacity over decades to carry hard things together without letting the weight crush what they had built. That is a mature relationship, not a perfect one, a mature one. The relationship that matures is not the one where nothing goes wrong. It is the one where what goes wrong becomes the material from which something stronger is made. This book is for the person who has loved someone truly, not performatively, and found that true love was harder than anyone told them it would be. It is for the man who wants to stop cycling through the same relationship dynamic with different women and finally understand what his pattern is and where it comes from. It is for the woman who is exhausted by the gap between the partnership she knows she deserves and the one she keeps finding herself inside. It is for the couple who is still in it, still choosing each other on most days, and wants a framework for making the choice sustainable rather than merely heroic. It is for the person who has sat across from someone they genuinely love and felt the specific loneliness of being misunderstood by the one person who is supposed to understand them most. It is for anyone who has ever said out loud or only to themselves, I love this person, but I do not always like what love is costing me. And I do not know how to say that without it sounding like a threat or a complaint or a confession of failure. That is not failure. That is honesty. And honesty. Uncomfortable, courageous, clearly spoken. Honesty is the first tool this book will place in your hands. Every principle in this book will require courage to apply. Not the dramatic courage of a single moment of decision, but the quieter and harder courage of consistent honesty with yourself first, then with the person you love. If you read this book and find every chapter easy and affirming, you are reading it too gently. Read it like it might change something, because it will. This book is part of the Sovereign Professor series, a body of work built on a single conviction that knowledge of human nature, applied with wisdom, courage, and love, is the most powerful force available to any person who wants to build a life worth building. The series does not offer quick fixes. It does not promise that understanding will be painless or that growth will be comfortable. What it promises is this: on the other side of genuine self-knowledge is a version of your life, your love, your family, your legacy that your current self cannot fully imagine. We have walked together through the laws of feminine nature. We have examined the civilizational weight of the women who shaped history from behind the frame. We have looked at hypergamy and cycles and mirrors and the Eve principle and the eternal legacy. Now we turn inward. Now we examine not the nature of the other, but the nature of the love we practice. The love we claim versus the love we deliver. The love we demand versus the love we embody. This is the harder work. This is also the more important work. Because you can understand feminine nature completely and still build nothing with it if your love is hypocritical, if your insight does not change your behavior, if your knowledge does not reshape your patterns. If your wisdom stays in your head instead of living in your hands. Understanding is the beginning, the love that acts on what it understands.